Nation.
From Learfield, this is the Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with head coach Ryan Day and former OSU All-American Jim Lachey, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
And thanks for joining us for this week's show. Ohio State coming up their 56-0 win over Western Michigan. They head into the first of two bye weekends. We'll let Coach Day, when he gets here, identify it the way he's choosing to identify it. But, Jim, a lot of people didn't realize that there were two byes. It usually happens in years when there's an extra Saturday between Labor Day and Thanksgiving. But even not just Ohio State, but with other teams that have it this early, it's kind of caught folks off guard a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And, ideally you would like it probably after the fourth game, after the eighth game, so you can kind of break it up on the four-game type stretches. But, it is where it is. So it's here in week 3, and, they're going to adjust accordingly to that. And, as Coach Day talked about, it's kind of an improvement week. So, not really a bye week where you're resting guys and resting some of your starters and things like that, but to go out there and find ways to improve. And, has identified some things for each and every guy, each and every coach to find a way to do it. But, going back to the Bronco game, what a performance. That was fun to watch. Score on the first 3 touchdowns of that ball game. Will Howard started out 10 for 10 throwing the football. And, at one point, I think we had 173 yards passing and 10 yards rushing. And that quickly kind of gained up. Still went for over 400 yards in the passing game and 283 on the ground.
How's improvement week going, Coach Day?
I think it's been good. I think the last couple of practices have been physical. I feel like we're getting a lot of guys reps. The ones are out there, but also the 2s and the 3s are getting some good work in. We had them to practice today. Got good weather out here, so it's been nice and hot. I feel like we've been out there and working hard. I think the guys have the right approach on it, which has been good, and just making sure that these guys understand every day that we're out there, we've got to maximize them. We only have so much time here as we head towards the end of the season, and so maximizing these days are critical because they're going to go fast.
Coach, like normally in a bye week, say if it was later in the season, would it be more working the young guys and resting some of the guys that had a bunch of reps in those games? But, because it is early, it's a little bit different philosophy.
I feel like we had a good rhythm going, and we want to keep that rhythm going of a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice. We did our normal Sunday routine, so we're going to take Friday, Saturday, let them rest. But this is not one where, guys are going home or, flying across the country for every. It's not what that is. We can maybe catch our breath a little bit more when we get to, after the Oregon game, as you look at the season, because, we're not used to having 2 bye weeks anyways. Everybody in the country is getting better because they're playing a game on Saturday, so we're off this week, but we're not going to take a deep breath. We're going to keep working to get better. And the good thing is, we have, a bunch of guys on the field that are getting each other better. And I say that all the time that, if you can go, block JT or, you can cover, Jeremiah or get open against IGB or Denzel or, these guys, then you're getting better because you're going against really good guys in practice if we take that approach. So everybody in the team has been giving something to improve on in particular. And so by the end of the week, we want to make sure that, we're staying on that and guys are getting better in these areas, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because, usually you don't do that after 2 games where you get to actually go back to your fundamentals and identify what's going on.
And it's almost harder than a normal game week because I saw a lot of one-on-one action yesterday out of practice. During the week you do a little bit more, scout team type sessions. You still do good on good, but not as much. It seemed like pretty much everything was good on good yesterday.
Yeah, it was. And it actually allows us a little bit of a laboratory too where we can try some different things. In all 3 phases, and see, man, maybe this works or maybe this doesn't. Gives us a day to say, we find something right here and maybe a different look in something, and that didn't look any good. Throw that away. Usually don't have that type of time during the season. You got to get right to it. So that's been good to look at a couple different ideas.
You talked about having a good rhythm. Is that even added in value because so many guys played in the last game?
Yeah. Yeah, I think over 80 guys got in the game, and that's good. And, whether it's special teams, defense, offense, and we'll get back out there today and get these guys some reps. And the more they're out there, the more they're practicing, the better they're going to be. And I guess that is the positive of a week like this is you're getting more guys reps, and they're not on the scout team. They're actually working our offense and our defense and special teams.
So on Sundays, you review the film of the game and name your champions. And what is that champions dinner all about? I'm sure it's really good food.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah. So we say that, it's about our standard. It's not about the opponent. And, our standard is grading out a champion over 80%. And the coaches have to make sure that they set their criteria because not every play is the same. If you're a receiver and you're in the backside of a play, that's a lot different than when you're running around on third down, catching the ball and securing it. So every position has to have their own dynamics in place and what grades out a champion. And so when we do our champions meeting, the first thing we do is identify the different situations that you've heard us talk about, the turnovers, the X plays, the rushing yards, third downs, red zone. We go through all the different situations and see what that was and how we graded out and how if we won the situations. If we win the situations, we're going to win the game. And so then we go through the champions, and that's a big deal. If someone grades out all the work that's put in the offseason all comes down to whether you grade out a champion or not during the game. All the lifts, all the practices, all the recruiting, everything that goes with it. What do you put on the field? And when you grade out a champion, that's a heck of a deal. So we go through, we call them out, we bring them down, everyone goes crazy, and then, dap them up, and then they go back. And so we go through all those guys. Then we have a player of the game. And then we put on the clips, offense, defense, and special teams. And usually it's a great effort play, it's a great execution play, or it's a play that, guys, down the road, if we continue to make these mistakes in a matchup game, that's going to cost us the game right there. Because that's one of the issues at Ohio State is that when you find yourself in a game like maybe we had on Saturday where you pull away from a team, all those little issues that are still there don't maybe get brought to the surface unless the coaches do a good job of identifying those because it can be, well, that's not a big deal. We won by, whatever the number was. Well, in a matchup game, it can come down to one play, as we all know too well. So we have to make sure we identify those things as coaches. So we call that out in that meeting. We go out to practice. We meet afterwards, as positions. And then we go out to practice. We have our Sunday practice. And then afterwards, we go up and have our champions meal, which that Coach Mick would say that's his favorite tradition at Ohio State is the champions, dinner and victory meal. And so we go up. It's a beautiful meal. Kayla Olson does a great job setting it up. We really blow it out. We play the TV copy of the game from the day before so the guys can kind of see themselves in the TV copy. And everybody, coaches, players, get up there and have a great meal.
Does this also involve the recognition of the scout team guys, what they do as well?
That's right. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so when we go through all the offensive guys, we'll then identify the two defensive players who are the scout team players of the week, and then vice versa. And so 4 guys get recognized, usually a big guy and a skill guy. And then those guys are either travel with us the next week or come to the golf course, and then we'll do the walk with us as well.
Coach, how many champions would you have after last week's win? Offense, defense, special teams. How would it be 8? Would it be 10, 11? I mean, have you ever had them all graded out as champions?
No, never had that before. But yeah, it just depends on the game, depends on the execution, depends on how things went, how well guys played. The numbers were pretty good, as you can imagine, coming off of the game Saturday. I think on offense, let's see, 5. So we probably had about 10, 11 guys on both sides of the ball, and then what we also do is guys who you have to play over 15 plays. If you play less than 15 plays but grade out over 80%, you get an honorable mention. So we'll call those guys out because some of those guys played about 10, 11 plays but did a nice job and graded over 80%. We recognize them in that moment as well.
If you have a question for Coach Day, you can submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at OhioStateBuckeyes.com and click on Ryan Day Show inbox. Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com, an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. And the foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home football game this season with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and the foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit OSU5050.com. Ohio State will host Marshall next Saturday. We'll be on the air with our AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
It is time to square off against overpriced family dinners with Donato's all-new bakery crust pizza. A square-cut, thicker bakery-style crust with smoked provolone cheese and Donato's fresh toppings, plus your choice of marinara, ranch, or garlic sauce for dipping. The crust is thicker, but the deal is the kicker. Right now, you can get 2 one-topping bakery crust pizzas for just $19.99. It's a whole lot of pizza for not a lot of dough. Order with the app or at donatos.com.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for our 2 Deep Report, presented by Elk & Elk, serious fans of Ohio State athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Go Bucks. And welcome back to this week's show with Coach Ryan Day as Ohio State goes into their improvement week. And then host Marshall a week from Saturday. In regard to 2 Deep, just want to ask you about something you addressed in your press conference Tuesday, and that's the fact that even late in the game Saturday against Western Michigan, the guys that were in there were playing just like the guys that were in earlier, and I know that had to be a point of pride.
Yeah, and we're out there competing. Everybody, coaches were getting after it, and you could see the guys on the sideline, maybe the guys who kind of already come out of the game, were chasing guys around. I mean, that's what you want, and we got to treat it that way, because if we're going to count on these guys to play at the end of the season, in big environments, we have to play with that intensity, and it's not just trying to finish out the game. We got to get out there and we got to produce. We got to grade out a champion. So. I like the intensity towards the end of the game on Saturday.
And you have a guy like Jermaine Matthews who's almost like a starter. He played a little bit last year, but when Denzel goes out, he steps right in and there's 0 drop-off.
Well, I think that was a great coaching point for our entire team that I brought up in the Champions meeting. Like, here you go. Who would have thought Denzel would be out in the first quarter? But there you go. You got to go right in there, Jermaine. Nobody batted an eye, because we've seen what Jermaine has done in practice every day, and that's why practice is so important. And I don't know if I mentioned on the show last week, but I did mention at some point that, I felt like we had a good week of practice the week before. And when you do that, you just send Jermaine in and nobody even flinched. And he went out and played really, really well. So a graded out champion. And that's what we're looking for at all positions. But what a good example for everybody to recognize the fact that, someone could go down at any point. The guy's got to step in and then be ready to go. And as these bigger games show up and these bigger challenges show up, they got to be ready to roll.
Is a fast start something that results from a good week of practice, like you were talking about?
We wanted to be clean in the game, and part of being clean is starting fast. Getting 3 and outs and being clean with the operation on offense, and we felt like we got into a rhythm in the first game, but starting fast it's just. You feel good coming out of the gates that way, and we wanted to do that, and it was good to see. It was good to see for everybody. I felt like there was a good energy from the jump.
You know, with Chip calling offense right now, it's not that you don't want to run the ball, but you're going to take whatever the defense gives you, right? Because you get some run play actions, run pass options out there. And it just kind of worked out that, hey, they're going to defend that run a little bit more. So you guys were able to attack that passing game and be very successful, make them change things, what they want to do defensively. And then you're able to hit them with some runs after that.
Yeah, and, it's a balance that you're looking for, and making guys defend the entire field. However you do that, and you want everybody to have to defend the entire field, horizontally. And so there's a couple different ways to do that. Certainly, the ball out of hand is important. Having the quarterback be able to pull it, you saw him pull it and then throw it off of a couple disconnects that way. You saw a couple options. I think Chip's always done a great job of that, of making everybody defend the entire field, but then also having them defend the field vertically. And you saw us take a couple shots down the field. You saw us get explosive in some certain areas. So that's ultimately what we're looking for, but being clean and operating and executing at a high level was the utmost importance.
How much difference would you say this offense is from last year as far? I know you're using the same terminology, Chip, learn that and all those type of things, but just, what you're doing now this year compared to last year at this time?
I think, as we move forward, I think you're going to see more and more different things that we all have different ideas on, but there's been a really good back and forth. I think it's a good combination of what we've done in the past with a couple really fresh ideas and different approaches on things. And so we'll see where it's going. I think it's been great during this week right here to look at a couple different ideas. When you have a team like we do with, very talented guys on the perimeter, pretty versatile guys at tight end, multiple, running backs, a quarterback who can throw and run, you can almost get to be the fact where you get too many things. Right. We got to identify what exactly we are and get really, really good at it and then build from there.
Significant to get a quarterback, even though he's played a lot of football, but to get a guy like Will Howard, second game with this team in this stadium, in this setting?
Yeah, confidence is important for all of us. There's just a certain level of confidence that we all need to have, and it was good to see him get into a rhythm early on and play with confidence. And we're all growing, we're all building. We all know that this is just the beginning. We got 10% of our season. Well, that's it. And so when you're looking at a foundation, that's just like the bottom floor. We got a long way to go, but it is good to see guys get confidence, and it was good to see Will get into a fast start there. I think he was 10 for 10, which builds your confidence going into games, and that's important for everybody.
Now, does Chip talk with the quarterbacks after each and every session? I'm sure they get them the phones or the headphones or whatever they have to do to talk to him. Does he review, what he's going through series-wise, where you kind of had to do some of that last year, or the quarterback coach would have that role? But so they're up there in the boxes, going over everything, as they see it.
Well, now he has the earpiece, so we can talk to him actually during the series and tell him exactly what's going on, which is really unique. And there's a lot of benefits to that. So we're learning that as we go, too, just a couple different things. But after every series, he's got the tablet right there up in the box, and then Will has the tablet right there on the sideline. And then, Austin or Quinn will grab me the tablet so I can quickly buzz it, and just take a quick snapshot at what I saw and just try to give him my thoughts real fast. But then I click over to defense, but then when we go back to offense, they're going through every play. What did you see? Did you see this look? Take a look at the film. All right, let's go over to the offensive line, guys. What did you see here? And sometimes what you think is actually something you saw in real time in the past. When you watch it on film as an offensive lineman, it's like, I just got to trust my technique here.
Yeah.
And that was a couple coaching points. It's like, guys, you're blocking Ty Hamilton and Tyleik Williams every day in practice. Just rock off the ball and trust your technique and trust your training, and don't overthink it. And I think as time has gone on, they see it on film, and they're actually like, wait a minute here. Like, I've got myself kind of all worked up here. I just need to go trust my technique and rock off the ball and play really, really physical. And I think that has helped us a little bit to be able to see what exactly happened. So there's not confusion on the sideline and say, maybe you're barking at somebody because you thought you saw something when, look, this is all that needs to happen right here.
Yeah.
It's almost simplifies the coaching. So I think there's been good communication on the sideline.
Yeah, back in the day, you could talk to the coach and I got my guy. Right. And then you don't know until Sunday or Saturday, Monday, you watch films and no, you did. You didn't, this is what I saw. But now it's, with the 4 or 5 play, 6 play drives, you can pretty much grade every position, after each series.
And I think the coaching is clean, because there's not this cloudiness. It's like, this is exactly what happened. This is the adjustment we need to make. Is everybody good? All right, let's go get the next series. And I think that has been good for us.
We'll start with our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions, and you may have kind of covered this one, but Adam and Sandusky asking about the communication between you and Chip Kelly during the game. Does it still continue as you would have imagined, or is a lot of it settled before kickoff?
Good question. Yeah, both. Both.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that we discuss on a weekly basis on plays. If it's on the board, we all agree that it's a good play. Then if it's called, then we all have to get behind it, because if someone has a problem with the play, then don't put it on the board, or we got to cross it out. We go through the situations, the third downs, those type of things, and then when we get into a game, there may be some things that we're trying to do for whatever those reasons are. Maybe it's a situation, maybe it's a personnel-based thing, maybe it's a schematic thing. And so you get your plays together, and Chip gets his ideas together and gets input from the staff. But ultimately, he's going to make the decision on what plays are being called, and we'll discuss them on a series-to-series basis. So a lot of the decisions are already made going into the game, but there is some variability. But we're not just going to make up a play and throw it in there. These are plays that are on the call sheet that we've worked on all week that can handle against all the defenses.
Yeah, some coaches' philosophy is, hey, we want to have a script. We want to have 8-10 plays that we're going to work on. We're going to run. We're going to review it on Friday. And then go out there Saturday morning, review it in our team meetings, and that's what we're going to run. But that can always change with down and distance and where the field position is. So you got to be kind of alert on that, where you're more of a starter. So, okay, we got the first play of the drive type play. So we got our second down, second and long, second and short, third down, third and long, third short, third and medium, and then, obviously fourth down. Just those people that do that, sometimes when they have that script, they want to see how a defense is going to react to a certain lineup so they can come back and counter something. They want to get something out there, put it out there just to see how they're going to line up and then come back to something else. So, I mean, just like I said, just different philosophies for guys, right?
Yeah, it is. Everyone kind of does it a little bit differently. And we had that talk in the off season during our retreat. And, Jim Knowles kind of brought it up about, different guys who run scripts, early on, and just kind of asking, the staff about, what are the positives and negatives to that. And so we kind of went back and forth on that. Our philosophy here, and Chip has the same philosophy, is you have openers. You have ideas that you like to get early in the game, get them out there. And then, like you said, see how they react, but also plays that we feel good about to get us into a rhythm. We want to start fast. Starting fast sets a tone for the entire game. So, but if you get too caught up in all those openers or that script, then you can't adapt when maybe something, you get a big return and you're inside the 20-yard line, or, like you said, you get off schedule because there's a holding call or something like this. You have to be able to adapt. So having a couple ideas that the guys feel good about, that we've practiced, is good. But having the ability to adapt is important as well.
Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day Concert Series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena and Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Bucks and beat cancer. We'll have more of today's show presented by Roosters when we continue on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. every client, every day means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger's, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS-TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care. Excuse me, it's now time for our Inside Access with Kroger. Kroger Pickup, the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. Coach, we know that when there is a weekend with no game, that also allows for more recruiting opportunities than what normally would be there during the game week. And obviously that's got to be a big focal point this week.
Yep. Yeah, we had some guys out Monday. We'll have a good group out tomorrow and getting around our recruits, getting around the high school programs, and certainly have some guys throughout the state of Ohio, which is great. High school football and across the country, but certainly in Ohio on Friday nights is always fun. And so, we'll get done with practice today. Some of the guys will head out tonight, and it's a good time for us to get out there and get around the guys, get around the commits, get around great programs.
Coach, on Monday, I asked you about Ty Hamilton and, what he did to play defense, and then you turn on the film and it's pretty apparent. He stepped up and made some plays, and everybody know that second play of the game where he just, tossed the center. And again, I think Gideon had a bad ankle coming into it because his ankle was heavily taped, but that just kind of deflated, what they wanted to try to do, offensively. Their right guard had to move to center. They had to bring him their backup right guard and, kind of discombobulated them early on. You could see that they didn't really want to go the passing game much after they just had 15 attempts. But, Ty set the tone, right there early on, and he's been disruptive. And CBG, the cold-blooded gentleman, that's kind of his nickname out there. And, it's just incredible the way he's, picked up his role playing opposite of a guy that's a really good football player too, in Ty Leak.
This is a great example of, somebody who, is from Ohio, who put a lot of great work into the program, put blood, sweat, and tears in, and, has now become a very, very good football player. He saw his brother go through the same process, but he's his own guy. And like you said, doesn't say a whole lot, but lets his play do the talking. And he's just been consistent. He's been durable. He's been somebody that we can count on. And, it wasn't just that second play of the game. I mean, he was all over the place. And he's worked really, really hard every day. It doesn't make it about him. Great team player. And, the guys on the team have so much respect for Ty. And to see him playing like this is excellent because it gives credibility to the fact that if you just continue to work every single day and keep stacking these days and keep grinding and keep growing and push through struggle and embrace, those setbacks, that you can learn from them, you can be a really good football player. And that's where Ty's at right now.
Is it safe to say that's filtered down to some of those other linemen, with the payout being how much some of them have played?
Well, they see it. They see a guy who's now playing like this, and you're like, okay, so how'd you get there? You didn't just show up and all of a sudden it starts happening. I mean, every position has, every person has their own journey, but, playing defensive line, there's a lot to it. There's a lot that comes with it. The stance, the alignment, the hand placement, being able to sustain it from a physical standpoint. There's just so many things that come with it. And so when you have somebody you can look up to that's been through the program for this many years and put the work in, it does send a great message to that room.
And the run defense has been fantastic. I mean, Paul and I have been doing this a lot of years. I don't think I've ever had 37.5 as the average for 2 games, on my chart. That's just incredible the way they've gone out there and been able to defend the run and an equally good job taking away the pass.
I think it starts with the way we practice every day and, guys running to the football, Even this week we had a bunch of team run periods. We had a great inside period yesterday, getting our pads down and getting our hands on people, getting off of blocks, and people running to the football across the board. And so we got to continue. Again, bigger challenges ahead, but that's been a huge emphasis in the offseason, and you're seeing guys play that way right now.
From our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions, Kyle in Philadelphia, but this question could be asked by anybody that's followed the team. What has impressed you the most so far about Jeremiah Smith?
Well, it's easy to recognize the physical traits, the size, the speed, the explosiveness, the strength. But to me as a coach, it's the other things. It's the maturity for somebody who is that talented. Usually when you're that talented, I've said this before, we feel like, we're experts in developing talent, the high-end player. Jeremiah is a very high-end player. But he came in with a certain level of discipline. It's typically not easy to find guys who are that talented that are disciplined. And when we say discipline, those are all the things that, take no talent. So like it's the attitude. It's the focus, it's the effort, it's the preparation, it's getting to bed early at night, it's belief in yourself, it's all the things that because we say talent is God-given. It's discipline is all the things that take no talent. So for somebody like that to be able to come in here with this much talent, but also have this approach of discipline is very impressive. And he also has a very high-end skill set for such a young player. You see the route running, you see the run after the catch. And so, he still has a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's still a young player, but you're seeing a lot of great traits. And to me, that's probably the most impressive thing that I recognize.
At 2 games, averaging over 100 yards per game in receiving yards. That's a great stat to have. Are you seeing from 1 to 2 any defenses trying to handle him a little bit different, more double coverages, or trying to look out for number 4 now?
It'd be interesting to see how teams, I think people had heard about Jeremiah, now they're starting to get film out there and to see what he's capable of. Certainly they're going to have to know where he is. Yeah, there's no question about that. I do think, the design of it all is that, if you decide to take away Jeremiah, you got some other issues you got to work through. So, when you go through and putting a roster together on defense, on offense, or special teams, you try to get to the point where if they just take one guy away, you can hurt them in other areas. And so that's the idea. Mecca's, to me, a first-round draft pick. Carnell's playing at a high level. You got our tight ends, our running backs. So, I think defenses will have to really be smart about how they try to just take away one player. But he certainly is going to garner a lot of attention.
You mentioned the tight ends, getting them involved as you did Saturday. Does that kind of expand the whole picture?
Yeah, it is. And, again, everybody be involved with this. And if we have that balance, run pass, but have that balance on where the ball's going, and spread it out, then we're putting the most pressure we can on the defense.
I saw 4 tight ends near the goal line. Is that kind of replacing your old Bison package where you'd have an extra offensive tackle, put on 80s numbers, and come down there and try to block?
We feel like we have some depth in the tight end room right now. I'm not saying that we wouldn't go to a Bison down the road. We haven't quite worked on that as much as we've used 13 and 14. And that'll continue to develop as time goes on and see how it goes. But we do feel like we have 3, 4, sometimes even 5 tight ends that we can put in there, and we feel confident that they'll go block at the point of attack.
Buckeye fans, this season, Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, including tickets, sideline passes, Buckeye trips, and more. 3 drawings, 12 prizes. Register today and every day at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the sponsor of our show each week. We'll have more of it when we continue on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with the AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. We'll go back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions. Christopher in Urbana asking, has your philosophy changed when it comes to how aggressive your play calling is when some of the backups are in and reps are so valuable for younger guys?
I would say, yeah. I don't know about aggressive, but I do think that, as we head into this age where, the playoff system at the end of the season, is going to be important on where everybody's located. And one of the things they do take into consideration are your offense and defensive indexes and different things like this. And so if that's really what they're going to use, then we have to make sure we're doing our part. Now, I said after the game, we always have to respect our opponents. I think that's important. But, so there's that part of it. The second part is making sure that as a longer season is going to develop and we're going to be playing, more and more games, that we have to make sure we're developing this depth because, we're going to count on these guys later in the year. So for those two reasons, we feel like we need to make sure we're playing for 4 quarters.
Coach, milking the clock. Sometimes you get a big lead in the fourth quarter. You're still breaking the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage at 18 seconds, things like that. Do you ever feel like, okay, let's slow this down, take a little bit more time? And then the second question I had on this was, do you ever thought about breaking the huddle after 15 seconds when the no more comms in the helmet for the defense? They got to kind of react to what you do there.
Yeah. We've talked about that before, and when appropriate, I think that's all really good conversation. When you're trying to finish a game in a 4-minute drill, different than when you're up big,
right,
and you're trying to get guys reps. We're just trying to get the flow of the game and get the ball snapped. We're not trying to overdo it, but we're also not going to slow it down because we want to get these guys reps. We think they're really valuable reps. And, people can say, well, it doesn't matter, it's at the end of the game. But for these guys playing in the shoe, on national TV in that moment, there's nothing more valuable than that for these guys. And it's also good for the morale of the team that the guys are playing. So I think, that's kind of what we'll do in that moment. But to your point, in a game where you're trying to milk the clock and shorten the game, there's certainly a lot of conversation about exactly what you're talking about. And so, those are all things that we worked on in the preseason and we'll continue to talk about as we get into these games.
Is there a noticeable pep in the step with guys that get into a game late when they turn around and come into practice the following week?
Yeah. You see it. And then, it's good. It's just good for the overall team that you're getting out there and you're playing when you have, 120 guys on the roster, and over 80 of them got into a game. It makes a difference.
You got to play 4 quarterbacks in this ball game. That's a rarity around here at Ohio State, and showing the confidence you had in number 10 Julian Sayin out there. Letting him have the opportunity to throw the football down the field and make some plays, and obviously it turned into a touchdown to Bennett Christian, and just tickled to see how he ran so hard to get across the end zone, and we almost crossed it like he was crossing the 100-meter line trying to get in.
I don't know if it was a 100-meter dash or what it was, but
it was good enough.
We're not doing that anymore. We're gonna hand the ball to the official and then celebrate with our teammates. That was the coaching point there. But it was a good play. Good to see the guys make the play, in that moment. But yeah. We coached that on the film in a champions meeting. But happy to see Bennett get his first touchdown, and so for Julian as well.
Absolutely. Let's see. Brent in Mansfield on our Union Home Mortgage inbox. How has Mylan Graham fit in the team so far? Chances that he might be a kickoff return possibility?
For somebody who came in during the summer, I've been very impressed with Mylan Graham. I think that he has a chance to make a push here and work for some playing time. We'll see how much, but he's shown really good signs. I thought he had a really good play yesterday in practice where he came down and cracked a safety. Like, those are all really good signs. A big part of it to me in special teams, is that if you're out there contributing in special teams, then we can trust you to play offense and defense. And you've seen many of our young players do that very thing. And so we'll try to get him involved with special teams to start with. Whether it's returning or not, we'll see. But I've been impressed with him, and here's somebody who came in during the summer who hasn't had the luxury of working through a whole spring, but he's worked hard to get to where he's at. He's got to continue to put on weight. He's got to get stronger. But there's been a lot of positive things with him.
Coach, what are your rules for your kick returners when they do single for a fair catch? You obviously got to catch a football, right, to make it, to get it at the 25.
Yeah.
And that was the result of not catching it, bouncing it while we got it to 6.
Yeah, we need to be more aggressive and make sure we catch everything. If it's a squib kick, that's one thing, but anything else that goes in the air should be caught in the air. I mean, that's the number one rule. So when that doesn't get done, it's a failure. So we've got to do a better job of that. I feel like anything that's kicked in the field of play, unless it's in a certain area based on the return, maybe we'll fair catch it. But other than that, we want to take them out.
You've talked about how all of the coaches now are involved in special teams, yourself included, just through 2 games and through all of the practices in the summer. How has that kind of given a different look, a different feeling to what's going on all the parts of the special teams?
Yeah, I think in the meetings it's great because when you go from punt, Coach Guerreri's up there, and then you go to punt return, and Coach Hartline's up there. You go to kickoff, and Coach Laurinaitis is up there. You go to kickoff return. Here comes Coach Bailey. He's got Coach Keys involved. I'm very much right there. So I think there's just different voices in the room, and there's just more buy-in and accountability across the board. I think the guys appreciate that part of it too. Kind of keep their attention when you see somebody new up there. It's not just one person running the whole show. So I think that part's been positive, and it's allowed us an opportunity to have some crossover on the team in terms of coaching other positions, and I think all of that is good for team camaraderie and overall accountability.
Coach, I'm sure after 2 games, guys got some bumps and bruises. That's normal. Donovan Jackson, it looked like he was going through warm-ups again, and you kind of had to hold him out.
Yeah.
And I know, obviously having him back in the lineup, hopefully this next game against Marshall, you just add a lot of depth to your offensive line with, the way Austin Sareveld went in there and played.
Yeah, I thought so. I was proud of that, and I felt like he played even better in this game than he did in the first game. Donovan was available if it was an emergency situation where the game became in the balance. We were going to put him in the game, but we felt like, and it was hard. It was up until the last hour. We had to kind of talk Donnie down because he was going to play. And, we have to, do the best we can to make sure that, with our sports medicine and our trainers, we take their advice in these type of situations. I kind of stay out of those situations, but he really wanted to play in the worst way. And, he's worked really hard to get to this moment. So it wasn't easy for him to not play in the game. He was available and he could have played in the game, but once the game got a little bit out of hand, obviously he wasn't going to go in the game, and we didn't feel like putting him on a pitch count was the right play either. So there was a lot that came into that conversation. But in the meantime, getting those guys reps is good, and Donnie's had a full week of practice, so excited to get him back next week.
Coach, as always, thanks for your time, and all the best as you continue on your improvement week.
Okay, guys, thanks.
That is Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at uhm.com. An equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Coming up next, we'll hear from quarterback Will Howard when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington, airs Games Day Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on Valley Sports Ohio. So this is the first of 2 open weekends that Ohio State has. Jim, I'm trying to remember. I don't think they had buys when you played here, did they?
No, they did. We started later. We started
the week after Labor Day?
Yeah, exactly, and then kind of went straight through. Only played 11 regular season games, so we always finished before Thanksgiving, which was nice. And then, obviously you had the bowl game opportunity. If you had a winning record, and here at Ohio State we were fortunate where we got a chance to play in 4 bowl games. But now that bye thing's a little bit new, and then even in the NFL we didn't have it until maybe my 2nd or 3rd year.
Okay.
It was 16 straight games, and so that's shutting it up, and every weekend being ready to go out there and play. And And trying to stay healthy. I mean, that's a hard thing. Is at every level. Is just everybody's going to get bumps and bruises, but that usually for football guys that then hold them out, it has to be something that requires an operation. And even if it's a shoulder or something like that for an offensive lineman, you might be able to get by with it. Like I had torn rotator cuffs and things like that, where I was able to play, pretty long with the torn rotator cuff, and then get it fixed in the off season and go ahead and get ready for another year. But the bye weeks do help you freshen up your legs a little bit and get ready for the season.
Well, we're fortunate to have joining us Ohio State quarterback Will Howard for a few minutes as we wrap things up. Thanks for coming out. Good to see you, and certainly a bye week has to feel like a good thing just from a physical standpoint, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely the earliest bye week that I've had in my college career. It's a little weird, but hey, it's good. I know we got 2 this year, so we're using it as an improvement week. We're not looking at it as a bye. I'm sure you've heard that from a lot of people. But we're trying to continue to stay on this trajectory that we have. We got to keep upgrading every week, and we can't slip up and miss out on anything because everyone else is still playing. So it comes at a good time. Obviously our bodies aren't too beat up yet. I speak for myself, but I think we're using it for the best.
Well, how's the adjustment been? You're coming here from Kansas State, and how's it been for your family? They had probably 4 years worth of Kansas State gear and everything, and now they got to throw that away and get the scarlet and gray. Yeah. How has that process been for you and your family?
It's been really good. My brother's still actually at Kansas State, so they're still split. At last year it was, my brother was playing high school ball, and I was playing on Saturdays. Now it's 2 games on Saturday. But he's there and I'm here. He's not playing yet. He's still a developmental guy, not really traveling. So my parents, my parents grew up, I grew up a Big Ten fan. I was unfortunately a Penn State fan for most of my life. My dad went there. But this is like kind of what we've always known is the Big Ten and the traditions and everything. And I grew up watching the Buckeyes. Obviously on the wrong side of it. I came to the bright side. But it's awesome. My parents are able to drive out to games, which we've never been able to do. They just hop in the car on Friday, drive out here, and leave on Sunday. Like they've never been able to do that. It's always had to be more of a planned trip. But yeah, we're adjusting really well. I mean, we love it here. It could not have been a smoother transition for me, and could not be a better place.
Well, what's it been like to develop relationships with these teammates?
It's been awesome. I mean, I truly was blown away by how the quality of the people that are in this program, and coming from a place like K-State, where we kind of pride ourselves on being underdogs and kind of being harder working guys, disciplined guys, coming to a place where we have more talent. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be getting into here. Could there be some egos? And sure, but I got here, man, and I was so impressed by, it started from the top. The best players were the best people, and I was just so blown away. The first people I talked to were like Emeka, Travion. I got on the phone with them before I'd even really committed, and man, I was like, these guys just seem so genuine and so easy to connect with. And in my experience here, since I've been here, it's like, they've just welcomed me with open arms, and we're all here for the same reason. We all know it, and it's been awesome. I mean, these guys truly are just solid dudes, all around the facility, and it's the people that make the place, and I think the people here are pretty extraordinary.
What's it like playing for a guy like Chip Kelly and then Ryan Day? Both those guys are kind of quarterback gurus.
Yeah, it's been great. I grew up an Eagles fan, so I think in middle school when Coach Kelly was our head coach for the Eagles. So it is kind of surreal to be being coached by your former favorite team's coach. But no, it's been awesome. I mean, the two of them are have so much knowledge about the game, have been so many places, and have so many different perspectives. And I think they both, being able to have both of them out there, gives a two-way street. For me, sometimes Coach Day sees it a little different than Coach Kelly, and they can provide different perspectives, and I can provide my own perspective, from my experience. But just being able to be coached in the way that I've been coached by these guys, they coach me hard, they coach me, and I told them that. I said, I need to be developed. I need to be coached hard. I feel like the player that I am now is completely different from where I was last year, and that's 100%, a credit to those guys and how they've pushed me and made me work. And it's been a blessing, to be able to be in this position, and I think it's just been so much fun.
What's it like to have this group of guys to throw the ball to?
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. I say it over and over, but I got a wealth of riches out there, and these guys are pretty unbelievable. And just being able to have so many guys I can get the ball to and just let them do the rest makes my job easy.
Will, thanks for your time. We appreciate it, and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, join us a week from Saturday as Ohio State host Marshall will be on the air from Ohio Stadium beginning at 10:30 a.m. The Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio. For Skip Mossy, Colin Behringer, for Jim Lachey, Coach Ryan Day, and for Will Howard, this is Paul Keels. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome to the greatest show on turf at Great Lakes Kia. I'm pretty sure that's just tile. And you can feel the excitement in the air. Brand new Kia is under $5 a day.
I'm Bart Zimmerman, General Manager at Great Lakes Kia.
Bart's coming up big. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV Wind, and Sorrento LX.
Under $5 a day. $5.
Oh, and the fan favorite, new 24 Kia Telluride LX, under $8 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Even new 24 Kia Carnival LXS, under $9 a day.
There's a flag on the play. It looks like credit interference.
No problem. Get approved with 1.9% financing.
Take the winning drive to Great Lakes Kia.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus,
GreatLakesKia.com.
Visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions.